Hey everybody, it's me, Angel Benton, and it is time for another edition of Angel Sudsy Recap, where we delve into the world of daytime television and do a few reality shows on the side. And one of the shows that we're going to be doing today is Young and the Restless. We're going to be talking all about Young and the Restless. So this past week on Young and the Restless was mostly it was about the sexual harassment lawsuit that Juliet is filing against Brash and Sassy. So, where personally, myself, and I know Cameo, who I work with, she also thought the same thing. We thought that, they would pull out. We thought the smoking gun would be the camisole. Remember that pink camisole that she had on during the affair, and then she accidentally left it behind, and then Kane gave it to her, and then it ended up in the garbage, and then Jordan found it, and Kane was like, freaking out. We both thought that there would be some DNA on that camisole, and she would turn that in, and there would be like, oh, there's irrefutable proof that they had an affair. Well, first of all, I love me some Leslie, because she's a fierce bitch. Leslie was able to get the hotel footage, and I talked about this last week, about how that was, it was really clever, the way that they had the writing in Japanese and in English, and it was correct, right? Usually, here's this true story. So whenever you get a kanji tattoo, it isn't so much that important nowadays, because kanji tattoos have kind of gone out of vogue. Now it's really all about, like tribal tattoos. But if you're getting a kanji tattoo, always have someone who speaks and writes the language make sure that it says what you want it to say. You don't want a kanji tattoo that says mysterious and have it actually say strange. You want it to say mysterious, right? I did that for my mom. My mom got a tattoo with some friends, and they wanted the word friend. So I drew the word friend in kanji for them, so that they would know what to put on her, on all three of them. So they did it, and it looks great, actually. Okay, so, sorry. That was a little public service announcement from Angel Benton. Okay, moving on. So that was pretty cool with the security camera last week, right? Well, and I was expecting this camisole thing to go down this week. I don't know why I didn't see this, because this is so typical soap opera, and I don't know why I didn't even think of this. But Juliet is pregnant, and she came to apologize to Lily for Lily being dragged through the mud, because she didn't really want Lily to have to do any of this, but she ended up passing out. So Lily, being a good person, takes her to the hospital, and they find out she passed out because she's pregnant. And so then Victoria is furious. Billy is furious. Jill, also furious, even though she doesn't really have much to say with Brash and Sassy anymore. But Victoria decided to settle, because Kane basically lied to her. Now here's what I hope happens, and I hate to say this, because he's a fucking executive. He'll find a job soon. And even if he doesn't, he's got enough money to make mailbox money. Mailbox money is when you make so much money that you can live off of the interest of your money, and you don't have to worry about it. That is, you get your money every single week in the mailbox, and you don't ever have to worry about it. That's mailbox money. And I know that Kane has got some mailbox money, right? Because how many years has he been an executive? First here, and before that at Chancellor Enterprises, way before, back when Catherine was still alive, before she sold the company to, well, not sold, but bequeathed the company to Victor Newman. So Kane has been around the block a few times. So he's making hand over fist. And if you're an executive, this is something, if you're an executive, you're not on the unemployment line, and you're not in line at, Nevada Job Connect. You know what I'm saying? So, I hope they fire him. I'm sorry. If Victoria really wants to be as big and strong as her father, she cannot accept that her top executive just cost her company shit tons of money. Juliet said they settled the case, and that she doesn't have any more financial problems. So she had, she just moved from Tokyo. She has a bunch of student loans. You know, all those types of things cost lots of money. So obviously Victoria was able to cover all that, plus a little more, I'm sure. And, you know, the whole thing. And this is another thing, too. So, oh my God, you know what was hilarious? So Carolyn Hinsey writes this opinion column for Soap Opera Digest, and she got a little bit of shade. She got a little shady dig in there, which I thought was hilarious. She was talking about something having to do with Young and the Restless, and she was talking about, yeah, and then they went out to the park, which is a set they borrowed from Days of Our Lives, which is, it's not, but it's fucking funny that she said that, because it is pretty funny. But you know what I did notice? Because everyone hates that park. I thought it was just me, but apparently I'm not alone in that. So, you know, I just, you know, what happened to the old days locations like Salem Place or Tuscany or any of those other places? What happened to them all? So I'm just curious. Anyways, moving on. Sorry, I'll save that for next Friday. Okay, so the other story this week was actually about Dina Mergeron and how she's leaving the bulk of her estate to Graham, and Gloria is moving in on Graham. Even before she knew he would be mega rich, she was moving in on him, mostly as a favor and to try to win favor with Jack, right? So that's why she was trying to cozy up to Graham. But I don't... Sorry, I've got really bad heartburn. Ugh. Okay, so I don't know why... I'm not quite sure if anything's going to change, because she's still putting the hardcore press on Graham. And Graham seems to be falling for it. So we'll see what happens. Again, Cameo thinks that Graham is one of Dina's children. I think that Graham is her doctor and that she's dying. But who knows who he could just be a grifter. He could be neither one of those. But those are our two educated guesses on the topic of Graham. Nikki disappeared this week. She totally left. She was like, peace, bye, and deuces, and then she left. So we don't know where she went or what she did. Jack doesn't know either. So everyone is kind of like, where's Nikki, right? So I don't know where she is. We'll find out next week, I guess. But I do know that her concert is coming up. And Tessa was asked to open for her so that it would alleviate some pressure. So that's good because A, it's good exposure for Tessa, who signed that record deal with Devon. So now she's got a lot of pressure on her. And B, it helps alleviate some of the pressure off of Nikki. So that's a good thing. It's a good thing for all the people involved. Okay, so we will see what happens with Young and the Restless moving forward. I know there was some scuttlebutt online saying that Jason Thompson, who plays Billy Abbott, was leaving the show. But the head of daytime of CBS was like, he's not going anywhere. Okay. Oh, and you know what sparked that? And I'll talk a little bit more about this tomorrow, is that the news that Steve Burton is coming back to General Hospital. I don't know how they're going to fucking do that, but we'll talk about that tomorrow, because that's a whole lot of ridiculous that I don't know how that's going to work out, so we shall see. Anyways, so they were saying, well, if Dylan has not coming back to Young and the Restless, which obviously not if he's going to be on General Hospital, then they're saying, well, and that Jason Thompson is going back to General Hospital as well. And they're like, no, he's staying right where he is. So that's good. Because even though I love me some Billy Miller, don't get me wrong, I love me some Billy Miller, but I love me some Jason Thompson too. He's right up there with Billy Miller as my favorite Billies. I mean, David Tom was actually really good as Billy, except he just looked really young. And that should never be a dig at anyone. Like, if someone tells you you look young, like, a lot, I see this all the time with, like, teenagers that are like, oh, God, I wish I was older, blah, blah, blah. Don't you dare wish you were older. Don't you dare wish you looked older. You are perfect the way you are, and if you look young, that is great. Because let me tell you something, from words of experience, 20 years from now, you'll see people you went to high school that you couldn't stand, and they looked like shit, and you look great, and that is a hug from Jesus. Let me tell you, that is fabulous. I live for moments like that, honestly. Anyways, I want to say thank you all for logging on today. I do appreciate it. Please feel free to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Angel Benton. You can hashtag YR to talk Young and the Restless, or you can hashtag GH to talk General Hospital, which I'm doing tomorrow. And you can also hit that subscribe button on my YouTube channel so you can get my YouTube videos sent right to your inbox every single day. Okay, thank you all so much, everyone. You all have a great night. Peace out. Wubba, wubba, wubba.